It's been a good week. It's been a crazy week. Oh my goodness. Like I thought the week was just going to be about comedy in London. And then Israel and Iran happened. And then we were on like the brink of like World War III. Like you here are now Friday crowd having fun. Monday, Tuesday crowd. Oof. Yeah. You try tell jokes when there's missiles outside. Like everyone was here like... Because that would be a weird way, like, to be, you know what I mean? Like at the beginning of World War III. Like, people are like, where were you? And you're like, well, did you see what happened? No, I didn't. Where were you? Trevor was telling us about Brixton. It was such an insane story as well. Like now I feel like the world we live in, I sometimes think about like parallel universes and timelines, and I'm not sure if I believe it, but when I do think about it, I go like, I think we somehow slipped into the ludicrous timeline. Like we were all in a very normal timeline, us as people, and then something happened around like COVID, and then we went into the crazy timeline, and then the other versions of us are now like, wow, things have become very boring and normal. Because like, this is not normal, you know? Like the week starts off, it's been like 2 weeks technically. Right, it starts off, Iran was negotiating a nuclear deal with America. Negotiating a deal. They're making progress. They're getting close. They're getting super close. And then Israel was like, no deal. And then Israel started launching missiles at Iran, right? And then it's hard to make a deal when it's like missiles hitting you, you know what I mean? It's like when you're like trying to break up with someone at a restaurant and then the waiter keeps coming, is everything great? Just wait. Let me just handle. So what I'm saying is, how's everything going? Yeah. Look, hey, we'll call you. We'll call you, please. So Iran was like, all right, I can't. And so then Iran was like, missiles back at Israel, missiles. And then Israel was like, missiles. And then Iran was like, missiles. And it was going back and forth. Israel was definitely winning it because like Iran has missiles, but not like Israel's type of missiles. You know what I mean? Like Iran doesn't have much money and stuff. So their missiles are like those cheap fireworks your friends... You know when your parents would, like, they'd feel bad. You'd be like, what are we doing for Guy Fawkes Day? And then your parents would be like, do you want these ones? You're like, do you like them? They're like, no, just throw them on the ground. I was like, pat. Do you feel like the other kids? No, I don't at all. So Iran has those ones, and then they're launching back and forth. And the whole world was like, man, this again, Middle East conflict, Middle East. And then, at the peak of it, everyone was like, man, how could this get worse? Donald Trump was like, hello. And Donald Trump came in and he was like, I'm gonna help. I'm gonna totally de-escalate this situation. And we were like, my man, you've never de-escalated a thing in your life. From your hair to your politics, nothing is a de-escalation. Nothing. But Trump came in and he's like, I don't like how Iran and Israel are launching bombs at each other all the time. So many bombs, we can't have this, it's not right. Too many bombs, we gotta stop it. No more bombs, we gotta stop it, we gotta fix it. And they're like, all right, how are you gonna fix it? He's like, by dropping bombs. I'm gonna drop bombs. And no one expected it. Like the whole world was like, okay, Trump is gonna mediate, or because he said to them, hey guys, let's sort this out, peace deal. We're gonna do a peace deal. And then he dropped bombs on Iran. And everyone in the world was like, what the hell? And a lot of people in my life were like, oh man, I can't believe that Trump did this. I can't believe. And they were so stressed. And I was like, yes, but look on the bright side. And they were like, what bright side? I was like, on the bright side, Trump also can't believe that he did this. Like that's the one glimmer of hope that I get from Donald Trump, is that like he also doesn't know what he's doing. He's in it with us, which is a nice change. Oftentimes we're at the mercy of those in power, but he's in the mercy with us. Like we're all locked in a prison cell, but he's holding the key and he's like, we're all trapped. What are we gonna do? We're like, use the key. What are you talking about? And the reason I say this is because Trump came out and he hosted a press conference about it. It was so wild. He hosted a press conference about dropping the bombs. And he was shocked in the press conference. He came out and he's like, earlier today, the United States military, that's us, launched missiles, bunker busters, launched missiles on Iran, on all their nuclear facilities. And boy, you don't understand. You've never seen bombs like that before. They came down and they dropped them, those bombs. I couldn't believe what those bombs were doing. I couldn't believe it. And I called. I'm the one who called. I said, drop the bombs. I didn't know I was going to call. I said 2 weeks. I told everybody 2 weeks. It was going to be 2 weeks. And then I was on the plane. Then I said, I'm calling. Drop the bombs. And the bombs were dropped. I'd never seen bombs like that. I said, whoa, we're never dropping bombs like that again. I never seen bombs like that. Those bombs were dropped, and now it's over. We're all good. And so now, because America had dropped bombs on them, then Iran had to respond, but then Iran didn't want to get into a fight. No one wants to get into a fight with America, you know what I mean? And so like Iran was like, we are going to retaliate against you. And then they launched missiles at an American base in Qatar, but then they phoned America first. They did. They were like, all right, we are launching bombs against you in like 45 minutes, an hour maybe. You tell us how long you need. Then we'll launch the bombs. And then the Americans cleared out their base and everything important, and then the bombs fell. And then Trump, very, like in an interesting way, he responded to Iran. Then he wrote on his like thing online, on his profile, he was like, thank you to Iran for giving us notice about the bombs. Now it's over. It's all over. There will be peace. And then he said, Iran, Israel, peace. And they were like, all right, peace. All good. Then Trump went to sleep. And in the 4 hours that he was sleeping, Israel, like out of nowhere, they came and they were like, Iran launched more missiles. And then everyone was like, wait, what missiles? And Israel was like, you launched missiles. And everyone was like, no, And then Israel was like, too late, we're coming for you with more bombs. And then the world was like, what? And then Trump woke up. And this was the moment when I can safely say I have felt more connected to Donald Trump than I've ever in my entire life. Because that man is not a normal human being. Very seldom have I looked at Trump and thought, yeah, I can relate to this. But he came out after Israel was about to launch a full-scale bombing attack on Iran. And he came out, he heard about this. Man didn't even put on a tie. Came out of the White House half-dressed, ran straight into reporters, and he went into it. He was like, I heard about what Iran is doing and what Israel is doing. And let me tell you, I'm angry at Iran, but I'm more angry at Israel. They said peace, and I said we're going to do peace, and they're launching, and I'm sick of them. Israel, you better not do it. You don't do it, Israel. I said peace. You don't do it. He looked like a dad who had kids that were fighting in the backyard. And he was just going back and forth. He's just like, Israel, shut up, baby. Come on, shut up. Shut up. How many times do you have to tell your kids that you're not going to? I told you once and I'll tell you again. And then he looked at the reporter and he did something I've never seen an American president do in my entire life. He cursed live on TV into the camera. Looked at the camera and he was like, they were like, what do you think, Mr. He's like, I'll tell you what this is. You've got two countries that have been fighting so long, they don't know what the they're doing. You're like, oh, Dad is mad. Dad is mad. And I don't know what was crazier, the fact that he cursed on live TV as an American president, or the fact that that somehow became bigger news than the actual bombs that were dropped. The bombs was like half a day of news. The biggest bombs ever dropped on a country randomly out of war was barely any news. And then Trump came out and he swore every news outlet, Guardian, BBC, Al Jazeera, CNN, you name, all of them, Trump curses, Trump swears, Trump says F word, F word. And I was like, damn, so the F bomb was more important than the bomb. Everyone on TV, we've never seen this before. We've never seen an American president curse on national television. This has never, I don't even understand what we're seeing right now. Donald Trump, and I must warn sensitive viewers, Yo, you showed footage of cities being leveled by bombs. You said it just casually. Let me show you some of the bombs that were dropped here. Let me show you some of the bombs. All right, now, Trump said something. I must warn you, if you have children in the room, you might want to cover their ears. You might want to cover their ears because he said the F-bomb. Like, people cared more about the words than the... It was the wildest thing. Wildest thing. I can't believe it. They were doing it as if the people in Iran were just like, yeah, no. The bombs are one thing. But what he said... You can take bombs back, but words are forever. Oh, man. Now would be the perfect time for an alien invasion. There's no good time. I think we can all agree on that. But if I had to pick a time, I would say this is the best time. Yeah. Because if aliens invade, it's not going to be good for us. Right? We know we don't stand a chance. If they can travel through space-time, our weapons mean nothing. We're probably just going to annoy them with our guns. Pew, 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 pew. You know, they're going to get here, and we've seen how it turns out, right? They fly in, they're going to blow everything up. We've watched Independence Day. We know how this happens, right? Yeah, and even if Will Smith helps, he can only slap like one at a time, you know? So what do? I think about it all the time. Genuine. I think about alien invasions all the time. It is my Roman Empire. Like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Well, I never used to think about this. Like when I lived in South Africa, this was nowhere in my mind. But in America, it's a real thing. Yeah, because when aliens come, this is where they're gonna come. Yeah, they're gonna fly here, they come straight to Washington, D.C., blow up the White House, and they go to other countries, you know, they go to London, blow up Big Ben. You know what time it is? And they fly to other landmarks, blow everything up. I know, it's an issue. America first, I get it. Yeah. When I was in South Africa, this is something I never thought about, ever. Because I knew when aliens invade, they're gonna go, they're gonna blow up the world. But the one place they don't go is Africa. Yeah, you've seen the movies. They never invade Africa. I used to watch those movies all the time, and I'd wait. In the movie, the president would come and be like, citizens of Earth, aliens are invading our planet. Then you'd see the aliens invade. And then you'd be like, wait, I guess Africa's not on the planet? What is happening? They never invaded. Can you think of a single movie where they invaded Africa? No. What? District 9. No. And screw you for trying to mess up my special. Sitting up there in the balcony like a king. District 9, I tell you. Off with his head. No. District 9, it's a good attempt, but no. If you remember the plot of District 9, the aliens didn't invade Africa. The aliens crash landed in Africa. And then they spent the rest of the movie trying to escape. Because we don't mess around. Hollywood is so messed up. And it's just like, what's the worst thing that could happen to aliens? What if they were trapped in Africa? Aliens never invade, man. They don't invade Africa. They just never did. I used to think it was because they felt bad for us. Yeah, because as a kid, I used to love watching those movies. I still love watching them now. But as a kid, I loved those movies. Anything with aliens, I was there. And my mom, she would give me she'd make me like a big bowl of popcorn at home, and we would sit on the couch together, and she'd watch all of those movies with me. Not, she hated them, but it said parental guidance, and she took that very seriously. Like one day she was walking past, and then it was like, we recommend parental guidance for this film, and she was like, I gotta watch this, and then she did it every movie going forward. I would have to run and call her sometimes. The show would just start randomly on TV, and they'd be like, parental, and I'd be like, Mom! Mom! And then she'd come in and be like, what? No one needs you to guide me. Yeah, but then like 5 minutes in, I feel like I was guiding my parental, because she would sit there, and then the whole movie she'd be like, what's happening, Trevor? Who are they? Who are these people? Why are they doing this? What's going on here? I'd be like, Mom, I'm with you. I'm with you. I started this movie with you. So she would make me like a big bowl of popcorn, and we'd sit there, and then the movie would start, and the alien invasion, they'd be like, aliens are invading Earth. And the aliens would fly, and you'd see them blowing everything up, and I'd be there with my popcorn like, first world problems. I genuinely thought, I was a little kid. If you ask me, like, how come you never see them in Africa? I was like, oh, because they feel bad. I thought the aliens felt bad for Africa. You know, there'd be the ship that would fly over each continent to blow it up. And then there'd be one over the African continent, 2 aliens in the cockpit, like, prepare to launch photon lasers. You get ready on your command. 3, 2, 1. Wait, hold on. I think we already did this continent. I think we've been here. Negative. We've never been here before. Blow it up. What am I blowing up? Look at this shit. Something already happened. What the hell's going on here, dude? What am I supposed to blow up? Who did this? I don't know. Checking now. Beep, 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 beep. It says it was the British. Yeah! It's crazy. I'm loving it. Living the American life, trying to do it. It's crazy. You know, so I had to learn how to drive out here, which was fun. To get a car, obviously, which I just almost couldn't get. You have to fill out forms, and then they want your credits. And in America, credits is very important. I don't understand the concept. I'm in the car dealership, and there's this Asian gentleman helping me. We're going through the forms, and he says, so how long have you lived in America for? I said, I haven't lived here for long. He said, oh, this not good for you. This not good for you. I said, what do you mean? He said, no, you cannot lease car in America unless you've been here a long time, because then you don't have credit, okay? I said, well, I've got the money to pay for it. He said, yeah, that's not the point, okay? That's not the point. In America, okay, in this country, we want credit, okay? Our country focus on credit. If you got good credit, you can buy anything. We don't care about money. We want credit. I said, well, credit is the assumption that you can pay back the money. He's like, no, that don't count here, okay? In our country, you have good credit, you can buy anything, okay? You got good credit. He's like, our country. And I was like, look, I hate to be rude, but when you say our country, do you mean our because you live here now, or our because the Chinese own it? And he was like, it's a bit of both, okay? Yeah, but no credit for you, no car. Okay, goodbye. I had to just buy myself a car, you know, this horrible thing, drive around. And that's the worst thing, driving in America, wow. On the other side of the road, you feel like a rebel, you know, until you see the other cars coming, and then it's not so much fun. You know how many times I did that, just going to the wrong side? And don't trust movies. It's not easy to do that whole thing. No, people don't just drive, and no, they stop. They just look at you and go, what are you doing? In the movies, you drive past. What are you doing? Aren't you supposed to know? They don't drive. They just wait for you to turn around. And the street is so small. You're doing one of those turns, just watching them in your shame, just like it's horrible. I had to practice for months. It was the worst. I remember I drove into a street once. I thought I'd learned. It had been months. I'd been doing it well. And then I turned into the wrong way. And I saw this little old Asian lady driving towards me. And I was like, no! And there was nobody else. So I swerved the car around. I was like, whoa! I was like, yeah! Hero! And I drove, and there were 50 cars coming this way. And I was like, you bitch! And I told my friend the story. I told him this. I was like, oh, this is what happened. And he was like, oh, that's so funny, man. That's so funny. And he's like, who was driving the car? I said, a little old Asian lady. And he's like, oh, yeah, you can't say that, man. You can't say that. I said, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, you can't say she's Asian. I said, why not? He's like, yeah, because that's racist. I said, what, that she's Asian? He's like, nah, if she's a bad driver and you say she's Asian, that's racist. I said, so let me get this straight. Asians are not allowed to be called bad drivers. Is this not racism in itself? Everyone else is allowed the world of bad drivers. But if I'm driving on the freeway behind an Asian person and they're swerving around, and I go, this is bad driver, you drive like crap.
And I pull up next to them, I'm like, oh, no, sorry. You're not a bad driver. You're just Asian. I'm sorry. Racism in itself. It's madness. So now what I had to do was get around using a GPS, Decided to get one of those. First, I tried to be a cheapskate. I thought, get a phone with a GPS. That was a horrible mistake. Bought myself one of those iPhones with Siri. Your assistant, she talks to you. She listens to you. If you're American, she doesn't understand one word I say. I don't understand why. I speak English, and they're talking to her. Doom, doom. She's like, what do you need? I'm like, Siri, please call Peter. You want pizza? No, cancel. Siri, I need pizza. You want pizza? No, Siri, I want pizza, not pizza. You want pizza? No, Siri, what's going on here? You want to, Siri, you're not making sense. Siri, are you having an attitude with me? You tell me. I don't know what the hell is going on here. Siri, just listen to me. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Siri, just, bitch. Dialing mom. What the hell? This is horrible. I had to buckle down and buy myself a real GPS to get me around, which has been working like a charm. If you don't have a GPS, you get yourself one. It's the best thing you'll ever do. Just don't make the mistake I made and buy it from Craigslist. I bought one off Craigslist, and the guy who sold it to me didn't tell me that it was a Spanish language GPS, which was not so good. I didn't understand anything she says. Look, I still get around because the arrows are in English, thank God. But otherwise, it was just horrible. And I hated it the first few days, and then I fell in love with her. She's just, I don't understand why more Americans don't speak Spanish. It's such a sexy language. And sitting there, and like all the men in here, you want to feel like a man. You get yourself a Spanish GPS. Oh no, you don't understand. Traffic never sounded sexier. It's just like, I just punch in random destinations and she guides me around. She's like, dum dum. Sigue tocando aquí para conocer. En 200 metros sería la de la cha. And I'm just like, oh shucks, Tom Tom. You say that all the time. This is sexy, She just guides me around. It's beautiful. I love that. I'm going to learn Spanish because of that. Spanish has gone up my list. I had a few languages in Spanish. Spanish was like 6th language. I spoke 4 languages in South Africa. And then the 5th language was going to be Japanese. And then Spanish but now Spanish has gone up. Japanese I've had to pause because of the earthquake. There's not that many of them traveling now. So it's sad. There's no one now. Just like walk around the streets, just, But Spanish has gone up. Because I was getting good at Japanese, don't get me wrong. I was getting really good. I could say, and it's a great language. It's powerful. Because you speak Japanese from your chest. It makes you feel strong. Hey there. Yeah. Very strong. Whereas English you speak from the head and the chest. Do you know what I mean? You speak it head and chest. You wouldn't know this. If you listen to many coastal girls in America. Like I've been in places like California where women insist on speaking English from their nose, which is not the correct. Yeah, like, oh my God, are you guys gonna like do this? And I was like there with Tiffany and we were talking, and that's not the right way. You're not using your lungs. I know this because when I choked her, she sounded exactly the same. Jesus. Then she's like, oh my God, you're like totally choking me right now, and I can't breathe, and this is so not on. I am so gonna tweet about this. This is like the worst thing ever. Oh, I am so dying. OMG. It's horrible. Whereas Japanese is strong. Japanese, you speak from the chest, A lot of the Americans are learning Chinese, I've seen. Chinese, I see people say, you gotta learn Chinese. They're taking over. Chinese. Ni hao ma. Shi shi ni. Chinese. It's too late. It's too late to learn Chinese. It's over. No, it's true. It's true. Because it's also one of the hardest languages in the world. I mean, how do you learn Chinese now? Just, they've got over 10,000 characters in the alphabet. You know this? 10,000 characters. We've got 26 in English. And there's still people going, what comes after Q? 26. This is, 10,000 they've got. That's super smart. Although they must have the worst Sesame Street in the world. It must suck being a Muppet in that country. I can just see them on a Monday morning singing to the kids. 细胞从早起熟悉，从房间从早起。5 years later, 从早先，从早熟，从早. It's just horrible. Horrible. Hey there, thanks for watching. Now, all I need you to do is click on that little circle on your screen. Yeah, that one. Oh, yeah, just like that. Hold on. Yeah, click. Nice. I just got back from Atlanta. It was 107 degrees Fahrenheit. Hottest weather. The worst thing is everyone comes up to me and they go, well, you must be used to this being from Africa. And no, I'm not. I'm from Africa, but that shit is hot. That was just, no. I was scared to go jogging because I thought if I ran out in the street and fainted, wouldn't the local news love that? I'd be running and I'd fall down in the heat. They would have their vans reporting live. They'd be standing there going, so hot in Atlanta, even Africans are fainting. So I'm enjoying this. Really happy to be here, This is going to be good for us, I hope. I say I hope because I never know with stand-up comedy. It's just, it's an awkward experience, I find. I'm always nervous. I find comedy is very similar to sex for me. Well, it's exactly like sex when you think about it. With me, the comedian, playing the role of the man, and you, the audience, the role of the woman. Because it's my job to satisfy you. And you just have to sit there. And then, just like sex, my success or failure will somehow be determined by how much noise you make during my performance. Which makes it a one-sided affair, I feel, Yes, maybe you're the quiet type. I hope we have magic tonight. I hope we create something wonderful. For many of us, it's our first time together, and that means it might be awkward. I understand this. And if that's the case, I want you to know that I'll look into your eyes, I'll see that I'm freaking you out, and I'll stop. I'll stop, and I'll flip you back over, and we'll go back to the simple stuff. Okay? I've been in America for a few months now, and I'm really just thrown by the place. It's not what I expected at all. Different from the brochures and the pamphlets. There's many assumptions I had about America before I came here, and I've come to learn that those were wrong. For one, I just assumed people spoke English here. It's far from it. It's not, it's not so much the language, so much as the pronunciation of words that throws me off. It's just what Americans have done with the language. You guys have just, wow, you've done something. You've put 22s on the English language. You've got rims that says, pimp my language. That's what you've gone with, I don't understand. I was chatting to this woman downtown the other day. She came up to me and she wanted me to see something. I don't know what though. She was like, oh my God, look over there. I said, look over what? She's like, over there. Look at that her. And I said, her? She's like, no, her. Look, there's two of them. I understand nothing, even the small words, just the pronunciation, small things that get you by. For instance, I pronounce the opposites of uncle as aunt. I say my aunt. Out here you say my aunt, which to me is an insect, which made me look like an ass when my friend told me his aunt died. And I was like, so what? There's tons of those out there. What a great way to end a friendship. I couldn't get help the other day when searching for a battery for my remote control, because that's what I say, battery, a small form of power. Yes, in America, you say battery, which to me is a different form of power. Sponsored by Chris Brown. And you know what, I understand. We live on different sides of the globe, so it's fine. The language will evolve. This is something I've come to understand. But I hope I change one thing in your hearts forever. Just one thing. And that is that animal in the wild that looks like a horse. It has black and white stripes. Yeah, do me a favor. From now on, please, it's not zebra, okay? It's zebra. Yeah? Just like it's not Debra, it's Deborah. Same structure of word. Plus, you cannot name them because you do not have them. Zebra. This is madness. Everything out here is different. Do you know how hard it is to learn when you come out here? You have to change everything. There's the measurement system, which is just, America, you guys have your own thing, the imperial system, you know? On my side of the world, we use the metric system, and by my side, I mean the rest of the world, you know? We have the metric system, which is, amongst other things, very efficient. It's a very simple process. You know, everything goes into each other, and out here you have imperial, which is fine. I won't judge you. If you want to be imaginary, that's up to you. But I just feel like there's some consistency that's needed. Small things, like for instance, when we abbreviate our small measurement, milligrams, we use mg, milligrams, mg, milligrams. And you guys have ounces, which you then abbreviate OZ. There's no Z in the word, ounces. I don't know. That's pale in comparison to what you've done with pounds. That for me, please explain to me how the abbreviation for pounds became LBS. Pounds. I look like the idiot walking into the store going, could I please have the 2 labs bag of sugar? Guy was like, you mean pounds? I said, I don't see the P. No, I don't. He said, well, it means pounds. It's not LBS. A lot of bullshit. That's what it stands for. This is horrible. In fact, it's crazy. You do realize the imperial system is so inefficient that even American drug dealers have switched over to metric. Even drug dealers got to the point where they said, we need some order, we're going with metric. And I honestly thought this was an anomaly. I thought, you know what, this is just one of those things, it's a coincidence, but it's not. Americans do not care about abbreviation nor the English language. They don't give a damn. I learned this in the small things. Like for instance, when I was in Tennessee, I stumbled on an organization known as the Ku Klux Klan. You heard of them? Worst magic show ever. Guy gave me a pamphlet. He was like, come and see the Grand Wizard. Grand Wizard! The Grand Wizard! Didn't do one trick! Not even one trick. I noticed a few black people disappear, but that's not magic. No, that's just Reaganomics. I wasn't impressed by that. Like, where's the magic? I sat there forever. These guys running around in their sheets. The KKK, as they're affectionately known. Has nobody bothered to tell them ever that you do not spell clan with a K? Nobody stopped. Even in America, clan is spelt with a C. The Ku Klux Klan, they're the KKC, not the KKK. You realize that? Ku Klux Klan. The C. In fact, the name is wrong. The whole thing, the Ku Klux parts of it. That's just horrible because they got that, as you know, from ancient Greece. It was Kuklos Alphion, meaning a circle of brothers. And that's how they got their name. They call themselves a Greek circle of brothers, which is wrong for 2 reasons. One, if your sole purpose as an organization is to hate black people, don't you find it strange that you've now named yourself the circle of brothers? And secondly, do they realize that in ancient Greece, circles of brothers were doing very different things with one another? Very loving, very, yeah. If they were really a Greek circle, the sheets would be a bit higher up, just more of a, yeah, maybe one more hole. They're not a...
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can win cool prizes. And by prizes, I mean surprise. There's no prizes. It's a free YouTube video, you greedy. Just click the video, man. Why you want free things on free things?